Vajram Surasena Patim Tataha Prajapatyam Nirupyeshtim Agninapi Vadiswaraha Mathurayam Tatha Vajram Surasena Patim Tataha Prajapatyam Nirupyeshtim Agninapi Vadiswaraha Mathurayam Tatha Vajram Surasena Patim Tataha Prajapatyam Nirupeshtim Agninapi Vadiswaraha. Please recite.
Mathurayam tatha vajram shurasena patin tatha prajapatyang nirupyeshtim agnin apibad ishvara.
Mathurayam tata vajram Surasena patim tata Prajapatyam nirupyeshtim Agnin apibad Ishvara.
Mathurayam tata vajram Surasena patim tata Prajapatyam nirupyeshtim Agnin apibad Ishvara.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Hare Krishna.
Yes.
Mathurayam tatha vajram Sursena patim tatha Prajapatyam nirupayashtim Agnina apibad Ishvara.
Mathurayam tatha vajram surasena patim tatha Prajapatyam nirupyashtam agnin apibad ishvara.
Mathurayam tatha vajram Shurasena patim tataha Prajapatyam nirupyashtim Agnena pibadeshwara.
Mathurayam tata vajram Virasena patim tata Prajapatyam nirupyashtim Agne apibhad Ishvara.
So we'll do the synonyms. Okay. Mathurayam at Mathura. Tatha also. Vajram, Vajra. Surasena Patim, king of the Surasenas. Tataha, thereafter. Prajapatyam, Rajapatya, sacrifice. Nirupya, having performed. Ishtim, goal. Agnin, fire. Apivat, placed in himself. Iswaraha, capable. Translation. Then he posted Vajra, it's referring to Yudhishthira Maharaj. Then he posted Vajra, the son of Aniruddha, grandson of Lord Krishna, at Mathura as the king of Surasena. Afterwards, Maharaj Yudhishthira performed a Prajapatya sacrifice and placed in himself the fire for quitting household life. Purport. Maharaj Yudhishthira, after placing Maharaj Parikshit on the imperial throne of Hastinapur, and after posting Vajra, the great-grandson of Lord Krishna, as the king of Mathura, accepted the renounced order of life. The system of 4 orders of life and 4 castes in terms of quality and work, known as Varnashrama Dharma, is the beginning of real human life. And Maharaj Yudhishthira, as the protector of the system of human activities, timely retired from active life as a sannyasi, handing over the charge of the administration to a trained prince, Maharaj Parikshit. The scientific system of Varnashrama Dharma divides the human life into 4 divisions of occupation and 4 orders of life. The 4 orders of life as Brahmacharya, Grahastha, Vanaprastha, and Sannyas are to be followed by all, irrespective of the occupational division. Modern politicians do not wish to retire from active life, even if they are old enough. But Yudhishthira Maharaj, as an ideal king, voluntarily retired from active administrative life to prepare himself for the next life. Everyone's life must be so arranged that the last stage of life, say at least the last 15 to 20 years prior to death, can be absolutely devoted to the devotional service of the Lord to attain the highest perfection of life. It is really foolishness to engage oneself all the days of one's life in material enjoyment and fruitive activities. Because as long as the mind remains absorbed in fruitive work for material enjoyment, there is no chance of getting out from conditioned life or material bondage. No one should follow the suicidal policy of neglecting one's supreme task of attaining the highest perfection of life, namely going back home, back to Godhead. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshuran Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namne Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvisesa Sunyavadi Paschata Desatarane Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Once again, the translation. Then he posted Vajra, the son of Aniruddha, grandson of Lord Krishna, at Mathura as the king of Surasena. Afterwards, Maharaj Yudhishthira performed a Prajapati sacrifice and placed in himself the fire for quitting household life. Thank you so much for joining and giving me this opportunity. Before I start sharing on this, my understanding and some studies, I'd like to seek blessings from senior Vaishnavas, assembled Vaishnavas. Correct me if anything I state, because here we are hearing the Mahajana, Yudhishthira Maharaj, who has, Mahajana set the example for the followers. Now, many times we see that certain principles, certain activities remain as principle, and it may not work same way as time, place, circumstances that can be accepted. But in principle, the human life, preparation for human life has to be there. The details where, how, when, things may change due to time, place, circumstances. But in principle, the human life has to be prepared. This is why it is called, the Vedic society is called Aryas. Aryas means civilized. It's civilized not just because, the way culture is, the way they live. It is civilized, the Aryas, the society of Aryans had the broader prospect of knowledge, before birth, while living, and before quitting the body and quitting the body. Everything there is a plan. We cannot neglect one for other, which is in contrary, which is totally opposite the current situation. We are not against of this material advancement, all facilities, but there's no preparation. We find the billboards everywhere, how much is enough for your retirement, right? $1 million, $2 million, and there's so many businesses run for that. What is that? Oh, what will happen? When you get old, you will not have money, you will not have health insurance, now you work on insurance. So you start putting your money there now, insurance, preparing how to live in old age only. But that's not complete package, because that will not bring perfection to human's life. So here we can see, we will discuss a good amount of thoughts on this during Yudhishthira Maharaj's time, during Prabhupada's time, and our time and future. We'll try to cover some of the things. So Yudhishthira Maharaj, being, it says that he has, as a protector of this system of human activities, as the protector of this system of human, because he's a king and he's emperor, he protects the dharma. He makes sure, teaches with his own example, also to the citizens. What is that? Timely retired from active life as a sannyasi. Now here as a sannyasi is also in principle, it's not, sannyasi and sannyas order is two different things. Sannyas and sannyas order is two different things. Sannyas order is accepting sannyas order of life, right? So Yudhishthira Maharaj, he just when he heard Lord Krishna has withdrawn his pastimes on this earth, he has prepared himself to follow the same. What did he do? He did not just drastically give up everything. As a responsible person, think about is a emperor, how much tasks he will have to make sure that in the future is secure. Bhishma Dev, even though he went to such a difficult situations, but being a responsible person, he wanted to see Hastinapur as a safe and in good hands. So Yudhishthira Maharaj also, in the same way, made sure that the future of the world is in good hands, and he gave to Parikshit Maharaj, who has been trained well and very qualified. At the same time, in this verse, it says he posted Vajra, Vajranav, who is the son of Aniruddha. Aniruddha is grandson of Krishna. As Mathura, as the king of Surasena, I think because the Dwarka is, unmanifested, and no more residents, and he gave Surasena, Vajra as the king of Mathura. In this way, Yudhishthira Maharaj made sure that everything is secure, and he prepared himself to take the renounced order of life. Now we'll focus something, what we have to do in this, what I have to do in this situation, what is expected from us. So let me share it again from this. You all please, think about it, and you can share as well. Correct. The scientific system of Varnashram Dharma divides the human life into 4 divisions of occupation and 4 orders of life. The 4 orders of life, as Brahmacharya, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, and Sannyas, are to be followed by all, irrespective of occupational division. So I want to make it very clear here, with my understanding. The kings, even though they are Vaishnavas, not necessarily whole world will the Vaishnavas, right? So For the whole world, they established Varnashrama system. Varnashrama system. Why? It gives the spirit soul and gradually elevating in their consciousness and help them in their next life. It can be for next life, or it can be for liberation. Varnashrama dharma. Right? So one thing here Prabhupada writes, modern politicians do not wish to retire from active life, even if they're old enough. But Yudhishthira Maharaj, as an ideal king, voluntarily retired from the active administration of life to prepare himself for the next life. While Prabhupada writes here, modern politicians do not wish to retire, it's kind of a situation for almost everybody. I think Narad Muni explains, wherever a living entity is situated, he thinks that that's the permanent, that's the eternal, I will remain like this. Not getting ready for the change. We also many times have so many questions. What I'm supposed to do? What it has Varnashrama system has to do with me? Am I supposed to retire? Am I supposed to continue? The holy name is everything. Prabhupada writes, everyone's life must be so arranged that the last stage of life, say at least last 15 to 20 years prior to death, can be absolutely devoted to the devotional service of the Lord to attain the highest perfection of life. So as a devotee, devotee's life is always engaged in service to the Lord. It can be from childhood as well. Now, question is, does it apply to devotees? Yes, it applies to devotees also, because as a devotee also, I will share some of the situations where Prabhupada's Lilamrit, we are, when Prabhupada understood, there's a emergency necessity for spreading Krishna consciousness. He learned this from its spiritual master, Sri Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. With so much of struggle, he established all these spiritual education centers, temples. Temples are not just temples, education centers. Whatever he could do those days rapidly, 108 facilities. And now, because that time there was there's a scarcity of the head of the society. There is no Brahmanas. There are no Brahmanas. Brahmanas are supposed to preach the spiritual knowledge to the mass of the people. The arms were there, belly was there, leg is there, but there's no head. So Prabhupada primarily focused, having the lot of devotees becomes brahmacharis. And they gave up and lived in temples. Kind of lived a totally Brahmanical aspect, preaching, mostly preaching activities, studying shastras and everything. And in the last phase of Prabhupada's, pastimes, he felt, after realizing certain things, not everybody can be Brahmana. It is a natural division. It's a natural qualities living entity has, even though he is a devotee. Everyone is a Vaishnava, but Vaishnava also has a particular quality one has. I'll share with that at this time. This I picked from Lilamrit actually. Srila Prabhupada looked forward to traveling to America shortly after Janmashtami. This is the situation where Prabhupada was completely sick. He did not have much hope to travel anymore. But still, he expressed his desire. It is a conversation between Tamal Krishna Goswami and Srila Prabhupada. So it was September 6th, 2 weeks from the date of his arrival to England. Prabhupada says, I want to live a little longer. So, of course, Tamal Krishna Maharaj is curious. Then he said, to make everything more perfect. Now, question is, what is the meaning of to make everything more perfect? So Tamal Krishna Maharaj, he was also curious to see what you're trying to attain. What is your next goal? It is said that the activities of mind and activities of devotees, Vaishnavas, cannot be understood. Now here he says, Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj is asking, will you do this by enthusing the devotees by staying with them? Devotees are always hankering to have association of Prabhupada. We want to see him in our center. Both America was missing, Western country was missing. Prabhupada is in India, sick. Everyone is very much concerned. It's a relatively very new organization. So Tamal Krishna Maharaj was thinking maybe he wants to enthuse devotees. Or he asked, or is there a specific program for one to have a desire to live a little longer? So Prabhupada responded, a specific program. I want to introduce Varnashrama. I'm not going to read this part. Okay, he's giving an example that maybe he wants to start with a place, Gita Nagari, as a model. But primarily, I want to introduce Varnashrama. That's Prabhupada is wanted. Now, there's so much of, I see, now at this point, at this moment of time, there are a lot of movements happening towards Varnashrama. And at the same time, we get confused by the conversation between Lord Chaitanya and Ramananda Raya. What is the perfection? And Ramananda Raya explained that, having Varnashrama system, so Chaitanya Mahaprabhu rejected immediately. And considering the way the world is, going, our children and, whole world, it's not only in America, the lifestyle we have, Varnashrama is not practical anymore in the mundane world. And everyone is against these divisions. So I have more clarity here. What Prabhupada is speaking is in one of the formal reception was arranged for Prabhupada in Vrindavan by the municipality of Vrindavan. He says, Prabhupada speaks that how the International Society for Krishna Consciousness is trying to establish Daiva Varnashrama, a God-centered, a God-conscious social order with universal applications. Basically, our desire can be, we want to transform whole world in a way there's a need, but that's not possible. But at least you make your own society. So Prabhupada made his own society, where the society has their members, and members are practicing bhakti, devotional service. So his goal is at least the members of the society follow this Daiva Varnashrama system. What is the difference between Varnashrama and Daiva Varnashrama? In Varnashrama, focus is, based on one's quality, engagement is there. In Daiva Varnashrama, even though you are chanting your devotee, but you have your own propensities. You have different qualities. And dovetailing those qualities in serving Krishna. That makes Daiva Varnashrama. In another instance, he mentioned about ISKCON Varnashrama College. So Prabhupada's morning walks in Vrindavan were as exciting and enlightening as his formal lectures. on 2 consecutive morning walks, he outlined a comprehensive plan for starting an ISKCON Varnashrama college. Bhagavad Gita explains how society should be divided into 4 orders according to a person's nature and occupation. Prabhupada said that although the members of the Krishna conscious movement were above the social divisions, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Sudra, they should teach others by acting perfectly within these divisions. We are above Varnashrama because all our activities are supposed to be dovetailed in pleasing to Krishna. But in our own life and for others, there can be shown an example how society can be lived. Now, here is the point I want to make sure that not everyone would become a Brahmana. In our society also we get confused, am I supposed to take initiation or am I supposed to take Brahman initiation? So not everyone would become a Brahman because, we can see in our life, everyone doesn't have those propensity of studying and preaching and Brahmanical qualities, but doesn't mean one's smaller than the other, inferior than the other. So not everyone would become a Brahmana, but everyone could attain the same perfection by doing his particular duty. This is for the pleasure of Krishna. This is the beauty of Krishna conscious movement. This is the difference between Varnashrama and Daiva Varnashrama system. In Varnashrama system, the divisions are there, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Sudra, but still Brahmins are considered the best. Namo Brahman, Go Brahmanitaya Jagat Pitaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namo. Because they are considered the mouth of Lord Krishna. But that distinction cannot be made in Daiva Varnashrama, because in Daiva Varnashrama, whatever you are serving the senses of the Lord, irrespective of whether you're cleaning the temple or raising the funds or worshipping the deities. Everyone is good, and everyone can be engaged based on their desire. Now I'll give one example here. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explains that 4 varnas, 4 ashramas are there, and he says it's a natural division in the society. Now we bring these people and we bring to Krishna consciousness, okay, and we make them chant Hare Krishna, we make them Vaishnavas, and we engage them according to their nature. That is Krishna consciousness movement. Some of the more examples I'll give you is when Krishna is speaking to Arjuna. When Krishna is speaking to Arjuna, he's saying in 8.7, Tasma sarvesu kalesu mam anusmara yudhyacha mayar pita manobuddhir mam evesasi asamsayaha. Now I have a question is, when Krishna is speaking to Arjuna, Arjuna is a devotee. He is following Krishna's instructions. So what kind of duty Arjuna is doing? What kind of varna he is performing? He is performing a war. He is performing an administrative work. So he said, therefore, Arjuna, you should always think of me in the form of Krishna. At the same time, carry out your prescribed duty of fighting. So a fighter also can attain same perfection as a Brahmana. Because, irrespective of what details of work he is doing, his activities are, to serve, please Krishna 100%. So with your activities dedicated to me, and your mind and intelligence fixed on me, you will attain me without doubt. So Arjuna is one of the perfect example that in order to become Vaishnava, one doesn't have to have like a Brahmana. Of course, Vaishnavas are always above a regular Brahmana because they follow the regulatory principles and all their activities are to satisfy the Lord Krishna. But in this world, all these activities may not be always preaching activities. In another point, Sasur Maharaj writes that for Prabhupada, establishing Varnashrama Dharma did not seem very difficult. ISKCON should begin by starting a college based on Varnashrama conception. There should be no unemployment. Prabhupada said, we will say, why are you sitting idle? Come into the field, take this plow, take this bull, go on working. Why are you sitting idle? This is the Krishna conscious movement. Nobody should be allowed to sit down and sleep. They must find out some employment, either work as a Brahmana or work as a Kshatriya or as a Vaishya. Why should there be unemployment? So this is a important point also to notice, that devotee is devotee irrespective of what nature of activities he is engaged, as a Brahmanical or administration or Vaishya. At this time, at this point of time, the certain devotees, teachers, they are really sincerely working on establishing Varnashrama systems. Anyone knows any example? Many devotees, actually. Even if you go New Vrindavan, there's always two groups. One is the current management who is, promoting living on the principles what is needed now. And there's a senior Vaishnavas, Prabhupada's time, they're constantly trying to establish Varnashrama system. The many gurus at this time, they are trying to work on this principle. But the point is, there are not enough people, Varnashrama system not necessarily always living in the farm. That's the point. One can have any nature. One can be a IT. He can be also can fall under the Varnashrama system. One can live in city. He can fall under the Varnashrama system. However, yes, one of the necessities needed to live in the farm and work on the foodstuff, taking care of the cows, that's also is needed. There has to be cooperation among all. I was hearing from Radha Prabhu. Radha Prabhu has ISKCON, very successful NVCC program. He said that, they started a program for retirement program. When people in general, it's home, when you talk about renunciation, retirement, and all these things, when you leave your house, try to leave your house early, 50s, then people will say, why are you leaving the house? Then he's saying that when you try to stay longer, like 65, like this, then they'll be thinking when this person is going to leave. So I don't know, but he's saying that's true. Nowadays children, they don't want burdens much. So our situation is like that. If you don't take action now, if you take action now that you want to prepare for, as Prabhupada says, 15-20 years, you need to prepare before your death. So family will say, why are you living so early? But when we get old, they will say, oh my God, how long will I have to take care? So, I know many classes we discussed this. I'm sharing one of the program which Pune NVCC is planned is, they said, okay, they invited all the, 50 and above families, now your children are kind of settled or getting settled. You did enough. Now come and reside in the perimeter of, not in the temple, just outskirts of the temple, so that they bought the apartments and the coming and the serving. That's one of the things, so they're happy that they did something in their life and they're getting ready, they're getting some service. Sometimes we may say that, oh, we don't have a facility. Actually, that's not true. We have in ISKCON now also, we have so many temples, we are looking for devotees. We are getting devotees from outside. Do you know how difficult to get the devotees from outside? I was working on a devotee to, India was difficult to get from Nepal. And after so much of expedite service, everything, I got it. When I'm getting an appointment for interview, it's coming as September 2024 interview date. Anyway, that's different subject matter, but you also know that it's not easy to rely on devotees coming from out and will take care of. That's not the model. That's not the practical model. The practical model is we are devotees. We have our life. We have our varna and ashrama, and we need to prepare ourselves. Look for the facility where I can find and serve voluntarily. Okay, if there's no facilities not there, work on creating those facilities. It's not like that everything will become to us ready-made. If it's not there, work on it, make it. Prepare for it. There's so much discussion happens in upper management in throughout the world with this regards, especially how the varnashram system should be. While speaking right now, there's another important proposal is going on, that to have local gurus, because this guru system is having its disciples sitting here, guru somewhere. That's very impractical for the society. There's a proposal is also happening, local gurus. Because I grew up in this society, community, have followers, and I'll train them. There's a relationship will be established. This proposal only I'm sharing with it. There's also discussions happening, Vaishnava Diksha Guru or not. It's a very detailed, lot of controversial things happens. Then the point is, devotees are bringing the point, okay, we should follow the varnashrama system. In varnashrama system, you are supposed to do like so and so and so. But not everybody is ready to do in that. In a perfect world, it will work. But in a relative world, we have to work as time, place, circumstances. Time, place, circumstances. So in summary, as Yudhishthira Maharaj prepared himself, with maturely, even though who is more responsible in this world than him as emperor, right? As a responsible emperor, he's not just sitting on the seat. So he is still prepared, to set an example for others. That human life, spiritual life is very, very important. Everything in this material world will continue. We don't have to worry. But while we are in responsible, we need to make sure it's done properly, family is taken care. Sometimes the question was also asked, how about the women? Women also can go and live in the, there may be different opinions, different devotees, and those are promoting varnashram system. They may not accept, they may say, women cannot live in the temple. As I told at the beginning, everything is based on the time, place, circumstance. It should be practiced in principle, based on the principle. What is applicable in one place cannot be applicable to other place. Many times we are asked to go to, in holy places, walk in barefoot. I hope I'm not taking much time, but I'll share with you. So when I was in Jagannath Puri, this Panda, once he criticized me. Oh, you people are chanting Hare Krishna by, and wearing shoes. You're wearing shoes and you're chanting Hare Krishna, on God's name. And I kind of got mad. I said, you're serving Jagannath, but you're eating pan. I'm not supposed to speak probably, but I did. Finding fault is very easy. Living in Jagannath Puri, it's applicable. You can walk on barefoot. I cannot walk in place like Delaware and Philadelphia with barefoot, and those are the details, and those are the in principle we should follow, not in detail. And it is very, very important that we realize and apply to practically on this. We cannot impose same thing every place and everywhere. So I try to cover in many ways. But I would like to open for corrections, questions, or additions. Did it make sense? How many of you are ready for retirement now? Those are above 50, let us know. We'll work on it. Any comments? Vishnu Gadaprabhu, any comments?
Hare Krishna, there is no retirement for a mother, ever. Hare Krishna.
Right, thank you. Yes. But retirement is not there, but our Kunti is offering this prayer. Kunti, she's also one of the Mahajana. Yesterday only I was reading, that she's praying to Lord, oh Krishna, please help me cut these knots from Vishnus and Kauravas, Pandus and Vishnus. So even a human also has to work on, while living in the family, also with parents, with children, but as a man or human, both are the spirit soul. And everyone has to work on their attachments. And Queen Kunti is one of the example. Otherwise, why she offered this prayer? Please help me remove this cut. Well, she did not say when she was taking care of all these young children. When she knows that my children are established, my children are taken care nicely, even human also has to work in preparation for this. How is details? But in our mind and heart, it is very much necessary that, Ante Narayan Smriti, our goal should be, we leave this world thinking only for Krishna. Next prayer she offers is that, let my attention, let my meditation to be to you just like Ganges, flows to, connects to ocean without any hindrance. Such a determination. So yes, they will remain mother. Relationships will always there externally, but within the heart, at the man and human, they have to prepare. Actually, that's my understanding. Any other comments? Was it heavy to? Vanaprastha is heavy subject. Actually, no. It is very practical. True and very practical, and it's not like that. The path has been paved, facilities has been made. We just need to do perfect ourselves in our journey and help ourselves. We are not helping others. We are helping ourselves by engaging devotional service. Question can be asked. Why you are sitting here? My mind is also constantly going on. Actually, how to give. How to prepare myself. Yes, Mother Golokananda Priya.
Yeah, I know. We've been talking a lot about retirement, about vanaprastha and everything. I'm just thinking, as we practicing devotees, what is the most suitable way to retire timely? Because it's not like we can go to the forest and we can just leave home and just go. I know a lot of people go to Vrindavan, but it's not practical for everybody. What is the most practical way, you have in mind, like people who are about to retire or in retirement age, how to do?
That's the whole challenge, That's the whole challenge, not able to figure out. Sometimes what we do, we live our last, until the body collapses, then we are looking for retirement. Who will take care of us? We want to be a burden on others. Prabhupada made a very nice statement here, actually. Everyone's life must be so arranged that the last stage of life, say, at least last 15 to 20 years prior to death, can be absolutely devoted to the devotional service of the Lord. So it is given, why 15 to 20 is not only helps in preparation, but we are contributing to that society. We also contributing that society. We connected with the devotees. We did. And temple also becomes obliged, feel responsible. This devotee has done so much. And we should also do it. But if you can, if one goes like, okay, now my body is collapsing, then I try. That's not a fair from anyone, from any of us. From our side also, it's not fair, and we cannot expect the temples will maintain us in our old age. So that's why the better is that if you decided to stay at home with our own, and then that's what it will continue like this. But those who have time, they can plan, now have done enough, and it's time to dedicate, take a project in the temple, preaching project, arrange, and 100% Krishna will take care of it. 100% Krishna will take care of it without any doubt. Thank you, Mataji, for raising that question, but I just shared what Prabhupada said. We should give good quality time, and health is good when really both physically and mentally and financially we can contribute to the society. That's the perfect time. Keep something for yourself, for your maintenance. As Rupa Goswami set an example, keep 25% for your emergency need and everything. And like that. We need a lot of devotees, actually. We need a lot of devotees. I feel many times guilt. What will I do? Just working for my company, I'm contributing, they may be giving some money. Okay, that money, if I can utilize 100% Krishna service, that's good, well and good for one person, actually. But if at that same money I use for apartment and this and that, and it's still going at then a little bit left over, then that's not working. Though I inform my family already. Anyone wants to hire me, please do so. Hare Krishna. So, any more comments? I'm sorry if I was bold in this. Please share any practical points if you have. No?
Practical point is just that we have to do it. I think over the last few verses, at least, we are hearing all that we need to hear. We are not doing what we should be doing. And
you need an example. You're looking for an example, looks like. Yeah.
There are examples. I mean, we've been reading about Srila Prabhupada, how he has done it. Somehow, not just in the matter of retirement, also in how our relationships should be with each other, how we should perform our service with each other. In all of those things, we are saying all the right things. Are we practicing all the right ways? It's not easy, is what I say. I will compromise, but I'm compromising only on my terms, not on your terms, and that's not actually compromise. And so, I think we have to keep praying. I can see that it is Krishna's mercy and Guru's mercy when that actually happens. And so we have to keep praying that someday that sense will come into me. And
well, all these things were generally, Varnashrama system is trained from the childhood. It is already put in your system from childhood. This is going to happen to you like that. So it was not a surprise and a heart attack. Oh my God, I have to do it. Those who have done in the past, they did voluntarily with very joyful. They cried out of separation from the relatives, of course. There'll be bigger cry will be there. If you don't cry now, you'll cry a lot because death is very powerful. So Varnashrama system trains from the beginning. However, for us as devotees, those who join in ISKCON, we learned enough. We learned enough in our life, and it is enough knowledge has been given. With our life, we need to prepare. I had a conversation with my family, last week. I shared some of my plans. My son has to go to college. Okay, he said, please stay here for 3 more years. He say, I like this place, and okay, I compromise for him. Then the younger one has to go to college, and I also want to take my wife to pilgrimage. Sitting here, it's not good. Pilgrimage and give your time. Now we are giving 10% to service, even though we are devotees. But if you live close to temple and in the temple premises, we can give 100%. Can be given. I'll give a good example, actually, if you don't mind. When we built this temple, Delaware, one of the things we realized that, okay, we are doing morning sadhana, we are doing everything like a temple style, but if you do the same thing in the temple, there's so many hundreds of people will be benefited. It was a difficult move to take this action step, but we took it. Now, same thing, we do it, but in the temple mostly, and so many people are connected. The same way, I'm thinking of having expanding to different place, where people who want to retire, they can come. They can stay there and engage. Not like we shouldn't go to temples to retire and have nice prasadam, relax. That's not. Prabhupada says 15, 20 years, give your time, at least before your death, give your time, full time to the mission of Prabhupada. And everything will fall its own place. We'll get used to it. There won't be any fear of at that time. It's a very gradual transition, actually. Anyway, we will see whatever the examples come in future. Maybe somebody can record this class, what Krishna Kirtan spoke after 20 years, still at home. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Grantra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Vancha Kalpatarvyascha, Kripa Sindhuvevacha, Pattanam Pavanevyo Vaishnavevyo Namo Namah. Hare Krishna. Vishnugata Prabhu didn't say anything today.
I'm sure you will hear about it later on.
Come to me the mail, I know.
I'm ready, but I'm not able to do what to do.
He will come, mail will come to me. Okay.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Oh, good minute. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you.